more wrist repair coming up. Today, this pillar, a little bit of hammer forming, a little bit of bead rolling, a little bit of shrinking, a little bit of stretching, all that good stuff. Stick around, see how I did it. It being nothing more than proof of concept. The center section here, I've got two of these stacked. They're pretty solid pitches to hit. Just like a particle board, but they get this nice laminate flooring, so it's got a good solid. All right, what I've got is this one. It's slightly bigger. One that's the actual size that I need to put it, and then another one underneath that, plus I'm setting it on top of this little anvil. Got everything clamped as tight as I can. That should give me a good solid base. I'm gonna turn this pressure down just as much as I can, and we'll start going over this thing about 1,000 times and kind of see. It's kind of cupping down. Yeah, it's definitely going. It's just not deep enough. I'm not bottoming out, so I think I got plenty of room to go. I may just need more pressure. Or pressure. But I think it's deep enough now that I can take it over to the planishing hammer, clean it all up. So it's definitely rough, or I can't really hold it good and still, and plus the edge of that probably needs to be polished up because you can see I've got something sharp catching. Take this over to the planishing and try and flatten that out on the back side, and then we'll sand off these edges and see what everything looks like. I think it's honestly closer than I thought. It's not bad. A little polish. Grinder out, hit these edges and kind of see. I think that's not bad. I mean, honestly, once I tighten this down, it's good and smooth. I mean, a little bit of difference here because again, this all gets cut out. All right, so get this piece in it. Again, it's a little deeper than original, but that's okay because I can add shim to pull this thing back out, so I can't take it away. Kind of wanted it a little bit deeper than it really was. Plus I'll have my custom cover I made. So anyway, you can see I've got to break this, and what I've found works the best is this bead roller for this kind of stuff. And I mean, I can shape it a little bit, go shrink it, get it right in there. But this will have to be shrank. You can see the line just barely right in there. It's gonna be right up against this. We're gonna go ahead and change this out. And what I'll do is I'll put a little crease in it, shrink this a little bit, hopefully a little too much. And we'll probably form this one around with a hammer rather than spend a whole lot of time in this bead roller. I know tipping dies may be the worst or the best thing for that, but I don't know. What I want to do first is run through here and just give it a little pressure here. There's a problem, but these sticking out through there are kind of an issue right now. Now that I've created that, I can go ahead and get rid of them. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, I put these bolts on, and for my doors, rather than use the factory hinge cover, I've taken that hinge cover off and I've made a sandwich plate instead. That allows me to open up the adjustments on the original hinges, so I got more adjustment out of it without losing the ability to hide the hinges. When I mount this door, we'll talk about it a little more. But again, what I've basically done is took a piece of 10 gauge and cut that out. So now the ones that were factory are gone. This one bolts directly here, and I'll ream out the holes in the original so that they have more movement around. So they can move around behind this all you want. Once I get to where I want them, I just tighten this down and that sandwiches it between the two. I don't have to worry then about, you know, the holes are all the way over here to the edge. You can see the holes on the one side. No, this completely covers it. I'm gonna shrink that a little bit. You can see where it's starting to, well, yeah, I'm going to just a little. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Kind of see that pull up and shrink that, and that thing will pull right back down. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over here. Still got that little clip, which I think, as I start to push this around, is gonna push up more, but I'll have to continue to keep shrinking that to push that down. So I've got it looking pretty close. Some small adjustments once I get it in there. This corner is a little rough, but I need to get it in the thing where I can put a dolly on that and finish that up. The rest of it looks pretty good. What I do have to do is I have to start nibbling this corner out so it arches and it fits the contour, and I can weld that in solid. I'm not going to flange this. I'm going to weld this as a T-joint. Maybe wrong, maybe not, I don't know. We'll see. Once I get this in, this is the right width. Again, it's a little bit wonky, but this is the right height. The holes are in the right spot. Just need to get this notched out. Once I do that, some minor hammer work, minor adjustments, and this should be a good, nice, solid piece. I'm gonna just start notching that out a little, put it back in. We'll start marking it until I get down to a good amount, and then we'll start, you know, getting the file out and doing a little work like that. Just to get it close. Then, start to move it in here. You can kind of see. All right, so I'm still off, not about that much. Right there. Now, from this point, I'll take my little grinder and I'll start to kind of match that up. You see it goes all the way up here. And then hopefully, as this meets into it, take a little off there. Let me get some of these damn glasses. Tell you what, that is pretty close to like almost everything touching there, isn't it? Just okay, here we go. Check it out. Again, I was having a little trouble with the camera, so sorry I missed some things. I did have to cut right here. I needed to shrink that just a little bit. Not a big thing. I mean, I might still have to cut one or two of these and kind of even that up. Same thing here. I may have to cut one of these and even it, but a little bit of hammer work. And I knew it was going to be some, but all in all, I mean, this is your lower. Once I put the cover on that and get everything bolted on, I doubt anybody will ever notice, but I will. So we're going to take the hammer, we're going to try and do that a little nicer. This looks pretty good. By the time I get my, yeah, it's got a little lip right there. So when I put my cowl on, it's going to come down here and it should go straight into that, fade up. This is a little off. So I may end up cutting this weld and this seam a little bit and just torquing that back out to kind of push that into place. Or I may leave it alone. We'll see. Right now, I'm at a point where I want to weld this, tack this in a little better. Actually, I'll go ahead and weld that probably. Probably tack this a few more places, maybe from the back side, and get my door ready to hang. Because once I get my door in, that's when the things will kind of start to really make sense, where I need to do for my cowl and what I need to do here. But what I'm getting excited about is this cab is almost to a point where it can be set on a truck and all the body work can be done from the top side. I mean, it's easier on the rotisserie, but I'd really like to get that truck, that frame in here for the winter. So I might get the frame put in, get the cab on it, we can move the frame and all over. I've also got my Jeep. I need to do a tail swap on the 4L60, get that Dana 300 put on it, and get that LS put in the Jeep. It's ready to go. All I gotta do is drop it in. And then that Jeep starts to come together really, really quick. I haven't done much on the channel with that one, but over this winter, I want to really try and get busy with these two projects at the same time. That way, if I've got something going with the other one that I can work on, I'll work on it. If I've got something going with this one, I can work on it. We're gonna go from there. In the meantime, this truck's starting to come together a lot more, and I'm starting to get a little more excited about it. I've got a lot of videos that I need to edit. We'll work on the door on this side. We'll get it mounted. If I can get it lined up here and get it lined up with this one, we're good to go. I'll pull it back off. We can get rid of this rusted out mess, clean all that up, replace what I need to, put a new cowl on it, get rid of these louvers. Yeah, this thing is, wow. I mean, it's amazing how fast it comes together, but I know for a fact we get into the nitty gritty and it's going to be a very slow process again. So, lots of little things though. I mean, we got to weld all this up, fix all that. I got to replace that. Lots of good stuff. Plenty of rust repair to do on this one. So I'm learning a lot. Is this gonna be a perfect truck? Absolutely not. It's gonna be a solid truck, a fun to drive truck, a good looking truck. Hell yes.